Hello and welcome to the REBBL. I'm Zsinj and this is week 7, which is my match against Dangerous Lizards, one of the other teams at the top of Division 4 in Gman, the European arm of the REBBL. So, coming into this match, I believe there's 3 Saurus with block, some nicely skilled up skinks, and I'll just take a look at my team to remind myself where I'm up to. In this match, my opponent, Naoufel, chose to attack to begin with. So I'll just take a quick look here. So I have 2 Chaos Warriors with Mighty Blow, 1 with block, hang on. There we go. The Minotaur with the all-important block, and a Beastman with Diving Tackle. Oh, and a Beastman with block. Very nice. Forgot I got that skill. So a pretty standard lineup for me, a pretty standard defense against a potentially agile team that are pushing back into my backfield. I'm hoping to stall out his attack to avoid him successfully doing a 2-1 grind, or hopefully stalling at all. And ideally, I'll be looking to inflict as much damage as possible, though I wouldn't like to counter that in defense. I've chosen to put my warriors on the line, at least the ones without Mighty Blow. Particularly get this guy with block. Hopefully he can stand there and soak up some hits. So a nice kick for the Minotaur. And it's a high kick, which isn't the best. It wasn't a greatly placed kick either. And he has a Agility 4 skink, which is very nice. Catches the ball. A Movement 9 skink. It's a power on the warrior straight off there. And a sidestep diving tackle skink, as well as 1 loner. Block against the lack of block paying off there too, and he'll get a 3 dice block on the Beastman here. Assuming he passes Bonehead. Always a risk of a loner, so yes, best to take the other actions first, in case you get both down. Pretty secure Saurus cage. That's what to expect from Lizardman, and he wants a bit of protection on the skinks, because if I can, I will be trying to kill them off and take out his ball handling capability. So we see them at the back, pretty safely out of reach of a blitz. And a POW on the other line of scrimmage, Beastman. Choosing to follow up there as well. So I'll bring back my diving tackle guy just in case Skink tries to make a breakthrough. Hoping he can get some use out of that skill this game. And otherwise, I didn't want to risk the blitz, the Minotaur this time. So I'm just trying to form something of a screen to force him to fall back from. Use the Mighty Blow, just get a pushback, which isn't too bad I suppose. Shore up my screen, so he basically has to go to either side. Probably this side, from the looks of things. And that is what he's doing. Now this is interesting. He based the Minotaur with a skink. It worked out. And it's an armor break. I was very thankful it was nothing worse than a stun there. He's effectively my star player until I get some more skills. So runs around with the ball. Not a very conventional cage, but doesn't really need it with this sort of positioning. And a bonehead, which is quite nice. Can free up some guys. So, I believe I have just about enough movement on the Speedsman to form a sort of elf defense against this progress here. I'm also going to choose to mark up his Saurus, so he has to bring something in for an assist if he wants to hit this block warrior. First things first though, get this screen in place. I mean, I suppose his AG4 skin can just run straight through it. So I'm hoping I can use the diving tackle guy to some effect. I think that was a bit of a mistake, because I was hoping for the mighty blow hitting the skink here. And ideally a 3-dice block, which does not pay off this time. Still, this isn't too bad. Other than all the powers he keeps getting. And armor breaks and a KO on the warrior, that's upsetting. Could be worse. Particularly when it's mighty blow guy. Yeah. No, it's not, sorry. It's the unskilled warrior. I choose to mark up his Croxagore here because I don't really want him mobile with his 6 movement and causing problems elsewhere on the pitch. Well, that does mean this is probably a dead beast walking. The speed of Lizardmen is something of a problem for bash teams as well. And pretty poorly didn't make use of basing with diving tackle over here. So just get a pow. That's just a straight up failed dodge into a KO, which was quite lucky for me. I think if the Minotaur had break tackle, I'd be somewhat tempted to blitz the cage here. That would be quite silly, but fun. Try and screen up a bit. Try and stall out the scores. Try and pull him out of position, hopefully. I've got some of his Saurus marked up. No one's got break tackle, so he's not moving anywhere. Do you get a power on the Saurus, which is quite nice. Into a KO. Very nice at this stage of the game. Fortunately, I think that was the blitz that I told there. Not quite working out. Otherwise, I would have had to deal with this. So we just get a hole through the screen. Not the best placement, but I was sort of running out of players to keep it working here. And I think at this point I'm hoping instead I can actually just pressure him into scoring early for me to counter-attack in the remaining turns. I thought this was interesting. Armor break. It's just a stun, so I guess I've been quite lucky with the injury rolls in this game so far. A move from the Minotaur. Always nice when that works. Just a dodge, but I can't get next to my diving tackle guy, which I'm happy with. And have a straight shot at a blitz in the ball carrier, so I'm going to take it. And it's double one. Not to be. Block paying off. There's a reason it's the most used skill. And with this sort of positioning, he's clearly going for the touchdown this turn now. Got a whole bunch of blocks first. Nothing quite coming off for him though, which is fortunate. So not too bad, you know, I'm 1-0 down. But I am in a decent place to go to the 2-1 grind. Both KOs staying out, which is fantastic, especially with our warrior coming back in. Could not have gone better there, so it seems Naoufel's still on my side. No guard in this game, which is quite big. I'd love to have some guard, although probably not before block, I don't think. Maybe on a beastman. There's quite a lack of guard in this division. It could be very important. I just don't quite have the skills there yet. So, quite an aggressive setup I've gone for here. What I'm going for. I want to push as far forward as I can. And I want to try and score in the 4 turns I have left in this half, which is quite a few. You know, that's quite a good number. Placing the beastman back here with 3 SPP in the hopes they can get a level. A high kick is a good result. And he catches it, which is even better. Great start. So I'll push him up the pitch. Get to one side already, I suppose. No time to waste. So I'm going to try and mark up as many players as possible here. The weakness of the Saurus is without break tackle, they just cannot dodge. I mean, they can on a 5+, but that's not a roll you want to be making. So by boxing him in, should be in quite a good position. Push isn't too bad. I don't know if I don't have a second push, but keeps his players in one place. Some guard at this point would have been really important. That's quite a nice place to get to. Get the diving tackle, only on the agility skink unfortunately. So we've still got quite a good chance of making it out. That's a 75% chance to get away. Assuming he stays standing, that is. So that's something of an opening round here, which I'm hoping works out in my favour. Not based off that though. Not with the speed of some of these skinks. Other than that, I felt like he was rolling pals all day at this point. Still, for how things have gone, I can't complain. Those KOs are huge. Another KO for the Croxigore. Gets the Minotaur down. No on break though. And decides to go for the POW, Blitz. Gets a double skull for the first time, which is nice to see. But re-rolls into a POW, which means his skinks could come into assist. He probably wants a diving tackle guy against him. So what I'm doing here, so the real problem is the diving tackle skink. I'm going to have to dodge, probably. But if I can get a chain push to get him away from our player, I'll be in a decent position. So that's what I'm going for here, I think. Good job I didn't use the item. Needless to say, player's got a 2 dice block. It is a POW, which is fantastic. So I can actually push my player free, which is great news. And make something of a burst of freedom. It would have been really nice if the Minotaur had stood up. I mean, it's still probably blocking down, but that would have been nice. As it is, that was pretty poor positioning. I should have gone more to the sidelines, which I'm afraid of. So he does get the ball carried down. Ouch. And some tackle zones on the ball. This is not looking good. So I've still 2 turns to score. It's doable. It's not looking very good though. That's what I need. Unfortunately, I hate it when a loner roll against me succeeds. Hate it. That was a very big one too, otherwise you only have this Saurus in the ball here. I can bring this guy up. But no. Yes. Here's agility 4 guy. There. I feel like he should have picked up the ball really. Or else he should have brought his diamond tackle guy around. But he's probably feeling quite good about this. So this is a pickle. Go for the blitz the Minotaur. Not sure if that was the best choice. Just some pushes on the cross there. Just get this guy free. So I move him up as my scoring threat, which is quite a long shot. And this guy goes to the ball and gets it on a 5 and makes the dodge. Amazing. Throw succeeds. Catch fails. Reroll. Fail. Oh. Can't be too upset with that. That was quite a piece of luck there. So this Saurus is going nowhere. What's he going to do about this? So if I caught that, he'd have been hard pressed to get the blitz in here. Oh, of course it's going somewhere. He can blitz away. So he decides to get tackle zones on the ball rather than go for the pickup as last time. I think I'd have picked it up in his position, but that's now the ball in 3 tackle zones. That guy should have probably gone there to really make it secure. So it's not looking too good. I've got a single turn to score, which means this beastman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go for it, can potentially do it. That's a 6+ pickup. He gets the Minotaur down, another arm break. Oh, another stun, very lucky. Last game the Chaos Dwarves were hell-bent on taking this Minotaur down, but block saved him every time. So I feel like I might as well get some blocks in before anything goes wrong. Go for a push onto the ball, try and block it free. And he catches it. Oh no! Fortunately, I do get the POW down. So here I'm trying to knock it off the pitch, which was actually a massive mistake. If it had been thrown in somewhere else, I've got almost no chance of scoring, but as it is, back to the same place. So I might as well take my blocks. I've got a reroll. I can't see myself scoring. It's not good news. I've used my blitz, so these guys doing nothing, so, you know, YOLO play. Why not? 6+, now that's a 1. That's a 6. 2 go for it, and a score. Amazing. Totally undeserved, but amazing. Should not have got that. This should definitely be a 1-0. But it's 1-1, and it's my offence. So that was just something else. Naoufel was not happy about that, and I would not be either if that had happened to me. Utter BS. And the KOs are still out. My guys, but can't be upset about that after his 2 KOs sitting both drives out. It is my block warrior that's out, but you know, it could be so much worse at this point. So, more standard skink defense set up here. So I've got 8 turns in which I want to score on turn 8 and kill as many skinks on the way there as possible to avoid any counterattacks. So, same to 3 SPP players hoping to get a touchdown without getting blitzed over again. Dangerous Lizards getting a reroll. Brings them to 5 rerolls. Bit excessive. They do have the fame bonus, so I would not have taken 4 rerolls. I'm not even sure about having 3 rerolls myself. I tend to play with 2. But we'll see. See what happens. So thanks to Horns, I can still get a 2 dice block even with a assist on his side. Always nice. I'll get the diving tackle on the loner skink, hoping for some shenanigans there. Those both down there without block this time. For me, of course. So I did use a reroll. If I had 2, I may not have rerolled that, and then what? It was, let's just wait for the ball, I guess. Maybe dodged in with his agility skink. Stun on the Saurus. And with this kind of positioning, I'm kind of trying to tease the skinks to come around. So I'm marking up most of his Saurus, not this one, but most of the others, and I'll sacrifice at least one happily to keep his Saurus locked down. I've got a numbers advantage. That's exactly what I wanted. Just hope I don't get too many casualties as a result of it. So he goes to block away the diving tackle guy, otherwise that skink's not going anywhere. This way he gets to block the Minotaur again. There's quite a few powers the Minotaur today, but nothing worse than a stun, which is very lucky. So he's going to go for the foul, which is what I would have done too in this situation. But who to use? The loner, of course. Oh, just a stun. I'm just happy that wasn't anything worse. Don't mind it not getting sent off. Just a stun and all its players are here. That might have cost him a bit, but probably not the speed of Lizardmen. We'll see. So, I'm not going to protect the ball that well. But as long as his Saurus don't move, I should be okay. Which means any tackles on this guy. Ideally. And that'll do it. Hoping for more from that. That'll do. Another mighty blow here. I should have moved him up really. Risk the block. Pow that time. Gonna have to think about dodging this guy away now to avoid a surf in the future. Straight up foul on the Minotaur there. What was that? It was +1, 2, 3. 6 plus, got a 5. Ouch. No sending off though, so that would have been a disaster if he had got sent off. Block working out again for him. So now he's used his blitz, but he can get on the ball carrier. In particular, his diving tackle guy. So here it comes. Both down, and another Loner success reroll. So annoying. Still. If they had less rerolls, I wouldn't mind too much. Okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to blitz the Minotaur? Yes, I am. Good job, that was a power. Oh, he's dead. That's a block Saurus too, so he uses reroll into dead. Ouch. Exactly the same roll, even down to the D8. Oh, I do feel bad about that one. Nice to get some more SPP, but ouch. That's gonna hurt. So this is a sidestep skink, so I'll bring this guy around to stop him sidestepping next to me. And that's not exactly where I want to be left, but it'll do. And I forgot to dodge this guy. And again, if I had dodge falling over, it'd free up the Saurus. I can live with this for now. Lots of powers. But still, not a lot of arm breaks. And another loner success on the Croxigo. I was fuming at that. Well, not too much. I mean, the game has gone brilliantly for me again, as almost all the games have. But that's a bit annoying. You know, if that had failed, if it'd fallen over there, I'd be in a great position. Still, one dice block into a skull and is used as reroll. So I guess now I just want to block this skink down and get the crop score out of the way. Which this guy can probably do. Yep, it's power. So I might as well get the ball carrier moving. It's only these skinks to really worry about now. Well, unless that happens. So I push him next to the ball carrier, seeing as he's in tackle zones and on diving tackle, I'm not too worried. Oh, or not. Or I want to get diving tackle on these guys. Try and foul him out of the way. Worth a foul, I think. That stun's pretty good. And now I do go for the dodge. Not going to spend a reroll, but it does mean he's KO'd. And the Saurus is freed up. Which is not really what I wanted, but probably better than being served off the pitch. I guess not in that situation, but it is what it is. So he's again having to use a Saurus Blitz to free himself up to base the ball carrier. It's not too much to worry about. So those 5 rerolls actually coming in quite necessary by turn 12. Amazing. Oh. So, 2 dodges away from the... Oh, okay. And if he'll go for it. Having again used his reroll means he's not rerolling it. So let's do here, this is quite a difficulty. So I'll choose to again use the chain push to get the warrior free. Hopefully. Yep. And keep him going at the pitch. So now I really want this diamond tackle guy to come up here, which you can do. Nice pow on the AG4 skink. Injured, just what I wanted. That definitely reduces his chances of a counter score. And diving tackle arrives on his diving tackle, which is again what I wanted. So I'm not going to risk a 1 dice block here to free up the Saurus, because all his players locked down as it is. Pretty good place for me to play.
Slap key, and he makes it. That's upsetting. So we can actually get 2 players on the ball. And he does go for the 1 dice block. So, you really just have to deal these skinks that I do not want to dodge away from. Ouch. What I'll have to do. So I'll leave these 2 guys here. I can bring in some support. Avoid a easy block on the ball carrier. Let's see what it does in response. Takes his blocks. Both down to 1 reroll now, even though he had 5. So just keeps rolling pals, but not rolling casualties. Takes the uphill. Doesn't reroll it. Gets push. Might try again with this one. Nope, first he rolls. Here's Cropsigo. And the 1 dice over here, which pays off this time. Does not use his down second guy. Probably doesn't want to risk being knocked down, which would make it easier for him to get away. So I'll make sure I mark these guys up, particularly that one, otherwise he can sort of block 1 guy away and free up the other Saurus. Do get a push on 1. So this gives me a 3 dice block, which gets a pal, so even with sidestep, safely get away, and it's another casualty. Fantastic news for me. So, do I score now? Yes, I do. So his agility 4 skink's out. His diving tackle sidestep skink is out. 1's knocked out and 1's in the pitch. Pretty good odds. And they've been pretty sleepy this game. Oh, that's so painful. So sorry about that. And they're still out! So that's what? 6 KOs and all of them stayed out. Don't even mind that most of my guys stayed out either. So he has a single skink. That is difficult to score from. I mean, 2 skinks, 2 turns, that's doable. But 1 skink takes a bit more luck. Particularly a loner. But now they're both down to 1 reroll, it might not matter so much. So I hope for a good kick here. That's precisely not what I wanted. I mean, it could be closer, but it does bring him forwards. Doesn't catch, which is quite good if he fails the pickup. I'm in a good position. Block paying off again. My block coming in useful for maybe the first time. Surprised he didn't follow up there. He needs to make progress this turn with his skink if he's going to have any chance of scoring. Picks up the ball, but goes to safety. It seems that he's decided not to go for the draw. I mean, it's a loner, I won't be worried about losing him. I'd be making the play, particularly when he can dodge through tackle zones. So, just for fun, I'll play the same, just in the hopes of SPP, which you can't be too upset about on the loner, but it's not to be. That's pretty much the game. So 2-1, 2-1 grind worked beautifully, but ouch. Stunned. But it was entirely thanks to the complete bullshit 6 plus pickup, 3 plus dodge, 2 go for it to score. And that was following a 5 plus pickup to keep the ball up there, as well as a dodge and a pass that all worked apart from the catch. So that should not have happened. So with that result, I somehow stay, or even move up to even, second place in Division 4. Here comes the aggro foul. Oh, it's a stun. Denied. And that's the game. So, one of the Mighty Blow Warriors, the one on more SPP, I believe, got the MVP, which is amazing news. He gets his second skill. And Saurus gets the MVP, which is quite nice to see. So let's look at my team here now. After those level ups, I get another block on one of the other warriors. So, Claw on the Mighty Blow, which I've been hoping for the entire season, really. I was actually hoping to get it on the Minotaur a bit sooner, but with rolling block, that cannot be turned down. So I could probably get Claw next, unless I get another double. So I do have one Mighty Blow Claw. No block, but I'm hoping this will be the early killer, which might prove crucial in all the remaining matches, particularly next week against Palmu's Society of Dead Poets, Camry team, with a Guard Tomb Guardian and a Mighty Blow Tomb Guardian. So if this guy can take one of those two out, I'll be in a fantastic place. Or he might get knocked out himself, which will be bad news. So, still nothing done by the Diving Tackle Beastman, which is a bit upsetting, but he's only had 2 matches. I'm starting to build up my base of block for the rest of the team now. So I guess that's it. So just another unbelievable, undeserved win for my Chaos team. Bringing me to position 2 on the leaderboard. So that was Dangerous Lizards. I mean, if he'd won that match, he'd be in second place, easily in a shot for winning, and he still is. And this next week I have to play the Society of Dead Poets, who's currently placed 3rd. So all very interesting matches at this point in the division. I'll see you next time.